Hello and good morning friends, welcome once again to the CC EduSec live lecture. Dear friends, as you know that we are carrying a series on marketing management and so far numerous sessions have been conducted so far and we are on the verge of completing this series, but a few more sessions are ready for you and a few more lectures are to be conducted for you. So as I have already said that we are carrying this series forward and today we are going to discuss basically on a new product development process, as well as we are going to discuss on designing and managing services, scanning market environment. The topics which we are going to cater today. We are going to deliver a lecture on these topics today, and dear friends, for this very discussion we have again with us in our studio Dr. Subhash Kakkar. Dr. Subhash Kakkar is an eminent academician and he used to visit various universities and college where he delivers lectures on these topics, various other topics. So dear friends, let's take advantages from his experiences and let's try to understand more on the topics, as I already said, that is new product development process firstly. So without wasting any time, I would like to welcome our guest Dr. Subhash Kakkar once again. Hello sir, welcome to the EduSec lecture.
Thank you and welcome viewers to today's lecture. As you know that these lectures are part of our series on marketing management. Now we are going to complete this series shortly. Some of the topics are left and which we feel that of great importance. We shall be covering all those topics today. We will start with new product development process. Under this, viewers will understand how the product is developed with respect to marketing management. Viewers must be knowing that a new product is to be given to the market. Technical people are to manufacture this product. They are to see what sort of processes they are to use so that whatever design is given to them, the product is manufactured as per that design. But marketing people look at this process in a different way. They have certain other things to see. We will discuss all those things which are to be seen by marketing function. There are certain other topics also. We shall throw light on those topics, and these are designing and marketing services. Designing and managing services. We have not covered the services part so far. Today we shall be covering marketing of services and how to manage it. All those things will be discussed today. Scanning market environment is another topic we shall be discussing today. Marketing environment is an important thing to be discussed when we look at the marketing function. Without analyzing marketing environment, no step can be taken by the marketing people. So we shall be discussing this topic also. And the last one is PESTEL analysis. Soon you will know that what is meant by PESTEL analysis, how this is useful, and what is the concept behind PESTEL analysis. So viewers, I am going to start with the first topic, new product development process. Under this, developing new product offerings. The companies first find the target market, then segment and then customers, and this is the sequence and this is the priority in which the marketing people function. After these companies go about developing products which may be product modification or it may be a completely new product. Product offerings are increasing every year as consumers are looking for more and more variety of products. Here we are discussing two things. We are going to introduce a new product altogether, or we are going to introduce certain features in the existing product. And these two requirements are seen as new product development. When we are going to modify the existing product, we must see what all features, what all changes are required to be incorporated in the existing product. That is seen by looking at the marketing and the competitors' products, and finally the choice of the customers, how the customers are satisfied with the new features. We decide on the features to be incorporated in the product, and we see the process as we are developing a new product. Then we have to see that technical people also, technical process is available with us, so that whatever requirement we are giving to the technical people without any difficulty and without any problem, they should be able to manufacture. Then finally, they have to see the cost of the manufactured product also, that should also not go enormously high. We want to curb the cost so that our bottom line is not disturbed. So, companies which are unable to churn out new products fall back on competition and suffer the consequences. Companies face danger not just from competitors, but consumer needs, technology and product life cycle. Here I will talk about two companies, rather two types of companies. The first type, whatever profit the company earns, keeps the profit in reserves, keeps on accumulating the profit. But as the time passes, we will see that the profit of the company will not grow. It will keep on decreasing. On the other hand, the company making profit is investing some part of the profit in research and development activities. And through R&D activities, the company is introducing new products, company is introducing new products as modified products. Technology is improved, features are improved, even the price of the product is also reduced. Such companies keep on increasing their market share and keep on increasing their profit margin also, and these type of companies are always preferred in the market, who are looking for the needs and wants of the people and satisfying them to the utmost effect. New product development has its share of challenges also. Research shows that 95% of new products fail in USA, and in Europe failure rate is 90%. It's not an easy thing. Not all the new products meet success in the market, as given 95% of the new products fail in USA, and in Europe 90% of the new products fail. So, one has to be very careful in designing, in introducing and in launching a new product in the market. Organizational setup has to be conducive to support new product development. Foremost, companies must allocate funds for research and development. The conventional way is the percent of sales technique. Other close to allow employees dedicate a certain amount of work time on new product development, and this is the amount of emphasis the companies give to the new product development. Some portion of their manpower is deputed on this particular aspect of the manufacturing operations. Some people are exclusively dedicated to design a new product, and they work on the new product and they launch a new product. Unless we do that, our efforts will not be successful. Now, the companies next have to organize the process of development. This can be done by product managers with new product development experience, or by cross-functional team with members chosen from various departments having the knack of developing new products. Again, we are emphasizing the concept of having a separate team for launching the new products, and this team can be made from different functional areas so as to ease the operation of new product development. People nowadays use quality function deployment for introducing a new product, but that is a technical aspect of a new product. Now we are talking about the marketing aspect of the new product. Nowadays, companies are following stage process for product development. The first stage is idea generation, that is a search for new products. Companies pay a particular focus on customer needs and demands to decide on the new product. Idea generation can also be done by studying competitors' product. The first stage is idea generation. Brainstorming is done in the company to get different ideas for a new product to be introduced in the market. And these ideas are then finally analyzed. We make affinity diagram from the generated ideas, combining different types of ideas in categories, and then decide what idea is finally to be promoted. We get ideas from the competitors' products also, what products are available in the market. Those give us the idea of the new product to be introduced in the market by our company. Companies try to learn why competitors' product ticks with consumer or what more customers want from the product. Companies also look at top management for idea generation. For example, Steve Jobs of Apple is known to participate actively in an idea generation process. Research groups comprising of scientists, patent holders, colleges and universities also serve as a base for idea generation. There are different ways of getting new ideas. In some of the companies, the owner of the company or the topmost management get involved in the process of new idea generation. Sometimes we get ideas from different institutes, different universities and different research organizations, and they participate in the idea generation process. There are companies who involve patent holders also to give new ideas. There are various means of getting different new ideas. And finally, we are to decide what product and what sort of product is to be launched in the market. We have to give due attention to the satisfaction of the customer. We must know the changing needs of the customer, changing requirements of the customer. Finally, we should have a product which satisfies the customer needs. The second stage is idea screening. Not all new ideas proposed can be converted into products. Companies list ideas into three categories: promising ideas, marginal ideas and rejects. Promising ideas are further processed by screening committee to be ready for the next stage. Second stage is obvious idea screening. We have got so many ideas and then these ideas are to be screened. We are looking for the idea which is finally to be promoted. These ideas can be categorized in three categories. The first one is the excellent idea category. Second is excellency is marginal, so marginal ideas. And third type of ideas are ideas which are useless, and this is the reject list. The excellent ideas are to be promoted on account of their excellency. Excellency can be seen with respect to customer satisfaction, with respect to cost, with respect to ease of manufacturing also. All these parameters are seen and the ideas are screened. Screening should avoid the error where good ideas are dropped due to bias towards the idea generator. There are certain errors also introduced in screening the ideas. Sometimes we give due importance to the generator of the idea and we select those ideas. But these kind of errors should be avoided irrespective of the generator of the idea. We should see the merits of the ideas. Then another commonly occurring error is encouragement to a commercially unviable idea. Therefore, extra precautions are necessary during the screening process. Here, the screening process should be carefully carried out. There are certain errors we must try to avoid. Say first, we should not give importance to the generator of the idea. We should see that commercially idea is viable. Commercially, we are at a good platform in introducing the new idea. If such is the case, only then we must go for the new product. So, screening must be given a careful analysis, and finally, idea be screened. The third stage begins when ideas move into the development process. Here a product idea is converted into several product concepts. Out of several product concepts, the one which looks fit is then placed against competitors to finalize marketing and positioning strategy. Product concept is introduced to a focus group of customer in a form of phototype or rather prototype to understand their reaction. Third stage which we are talking about is development process, and this stage the idea is developed. So, technical people are involved, a prototype is made, a sample is made, rather few pieces of the product are made and they are given to certain customers and we get a feedback from the customers. Based on their feedback, further modifications if needed are carried out on the product. And finally, a product which is liked by the customers is introduced in the market. So, this is the first initial development process where we prepare the prototypes of the products. The next stage is fourth stage, which involves developing of marketing strategy for new product. The marketing strategy involves evaluation of market size, product demand, growth potential, profit estimate in first few years. Further marketing strategy plan is developed with the launch of product, selection of distribution channel and budgetary requirements for the first year. Under this stage, which is a fourth stage, which is called the developing of marketing strategy for the new product. Now, we are ready with the introduction of new product. So, and now we have to make the marketing strategy. In marketing strategy, we have to formulate the process of marketing. What are our audience? Who are our customers? Where is the market? How to promote the product? At what price the product is to be given to the customers? What sort of profit is to be generated? What will be the product life cycle? So, all these things are to be decided in the first year of launch of the product. The fifth stage involves the development of the business model around the new product. Business models start with estimation of sales, frequency of purchase and nature of business. Next, estimation of cost and expense involved in production and distribution of new product. In that basis, profit estimations are reached. Discounted cash flow and other methods are used to understand feasibility of new product. Under this stage, which is a fifth stage, which is called the development of the business model around the new product. Now, we have to make a business model, and this business model should match with our estimates of the profit. Whatever estimates, whatever requirements are there as far as our returns are concerned, that must be given by the product. So, under this, all those expenses which are involved in manufacturing the product and launching the product must be carefully seen and analyzed. Wherever cost reductions are possible, we must carry out cost reduction. And finally, we have to see that we earn the desired profit from the new product. The sixth stage involves the actual production of new product. Here more than one possible product are created. From prototype to finalized products are produced. Decisions are taken from operation point of view whether it is technically and commercially feasible to continue production. If analysis showing cost not within the estimate, then project is to be abandoned. Here we start the final production of the product, and this stage is called the actual production of new product. We start the actual production, we start manufacturing of the product. Under this, we have to see, rather we estimate what is the cost going to be and what is the profit going to be. If by chance we are not able to curb the cost within our specifications, then we should not go ahead with the manufacturing of the product. Unless our estimates are matched with the actual figures, we should not go ahead with manufacturing of the product. If our estimates are matched with actual figures, we must go in for further production, rather mass production of the product and launch the product. Next stage is the seventh stage, which involves market testing of new product. The new product is ready with brand name, packaging, price to capture space in consumer's mind. So, under this stage, which is called the market testing of the new product, the product is tested in the market. We had certain requirements from the market. We have to see that all those requirements as far as the organization is concerned are fulfilled or not. Under this stage, our product is manufactured, a proper brand name is given to the product, proper packaging is done, and a price tag is also given to the product. And then the reaction of the customers are seen. Whether we are able to attract their attention or not with the features of the product, how much satisfaction customers are getting on purchase of the product, that is to be seen and then finally analyzed. Eighth stage, which involves launching of the product across target market, backed by a proper marketing and strategy plan. This stage is called commercialization phase. The eighth stage, which we call as launching of the product, actual launching of the product is done. The product is given to the market and the market gives the product to the customers, and the company starts earning profit. This stage is also called commercialization stage or the commercialization phase, because the organization starts earning. starts putting funds into the product, starts having expenditure regarding the product, and finally getting a profit by sale of the product. Actual results are seen in this stage. Introduction of new product is part of survival technique for any firm, and with very high failure rate, companies have to follow a scientific process to create new market offerings. On one side, we have explained there are two types of companies. One company is not spending on R&D, the other company is spending on R&D, and this company is launching new products and the products with new features, so that they keep on increasing their market share. At this stage, the company cannot afford to fail in launching a new product. So, a careful analysis of everything is to be done, and the complete process should be carefully carried out, so that our new ventures are always successful. If we want to have a success, so we should be first spending on R&D. When we are spending our portion of profit on R&D, we are called to be entering into growth spiral. The companies who are not spending on their R&D activities, they land themselves into tailspin. So, we want to have our operations in growth spiral. For that, we will have to do everything scientifically and logically. We have to introduce different scientifically tried methods to have success in our ventures. So, now we will discuss designing and managing services. Under this, what is services? We are going to discuss right now. The art of brand building is through creating strong brand image and brand awareness with customer. However, the brand building process continues even after the product is sold to the customer. Company can come out to be a winner by showcasing differentiation in services at the point of sale and after sale customer service. So, we are having product which is similar to the competitor's product. So, why people should buy our product? The reason behind is we should give proper service to the customer, more effective service to the customer, a better service than the competitors. Then the customers will get attracted to our product. Furthermore, research has shown that average customers are not happy with after sale services in airlines, bank and hotel industry. Banking, hospitality, health and care, airlines, etc. These are service industries. We must keep an eye on the way we provide the service to the customer, so that ultimately we satisfy the customer at the highest level. It has been observed that companies with help of modern technology are maintaining a database of customer profile. Why we are keeping a customer profile in our data bank? We must know the customers whom we are providing the service. We must know the needs and requirements, the habits of the customers, because finally we have to satisfy the customers only. When we know everything of our customer, we can design the service operations accordingly, so that we satisfy the customers to the great extent. Companies perform analysis on database and choose offer discounts, coupons and charge low services who give maximum business. Companies are not welcoming casual users. This sort of differential service creates a bad impression in mind of customer, resulting in abandoning and bad mouthing of the company. If we want to save the company, we should not get involved in negative activities. We should satisfy the customer with our activities regarding providing services to them. There are various ways to deliver superior quality to all customers, but it's up to the company whether to service just profitable customers. It is general trend in developed economies like USA that services sector is showing highest growth in job creation. We see that in India also. Service industry is growing day by day, and we must see that not only the profit providing customers be attended, but we must take care of all types of customers. Profit will get generated on its own. Profit will get generated automatically if we take care of our activities in providing services to the customers. Here, services include any intangible act from one party to another without any underlying ownership transfer. Services are offered by the airlines, banks, technology firms, armed service, hospital, etc. Basically, services can be divided into government-backed services, business services, not for profit services, and manufacturing services. Here we know that what is the difference between manufacturing organization and the service organization. Service organization provides only services. We know that services are intangible. Services cannot be seen. These can be felt only. When services cannot be seen, these cannot be stored also. And there are 4-5 types of services as government companies, government concerns, government organizations provide services to the customers. NGOs provide services to the customers. And then there are manufactured product services. When manufactured products are sold to the customers, we provide service to the customers. These kind of services are also part of the service industry. So, now we know the meaning of service industry, which is different from manufacturing organizations. So, to design marketing strategies around services, it is essential to understand characteristics of services. Services are intangible, thereby creating uncertainty in consumer about the end product. For example, if the customer is looking for a haircut and visits a salon, there is going to be a considerable amount of doubt about her final look. So, services, we are not sure what is going to be the end result of getting a service from a particular concern. But if we have a product, it is visible, it is tangible, it can be seen also. So, example clarifies that the service product cannot be seen, it can only be experienced and felt. Challenge is building confidence in customer through people, price environment and right equipment. Unlike physical goods which are manufactured and supplied to customer through the distribution channel, services are consumed at same time it is produced. Services have element of inseparability and therefore, time allocated to customer is important. Now, we are discussing the particular characteristics of the service industry. The fundamental is services cannot be seen, these are intangible, these cannot be touched, these cannot be stored. So, these characteristics in the service industry dictate us to have different strategy. So, if the customer has the service giver penchant, then price could be increased or time allocated is reduced to take the customers. As the services have the human element involved, there is variability. Not all haircut specialists are patient in listening to what customer has to say. To overcome, companies can implement stringent norms during hiring, push for standardization and constantly record customer satisfaction. So, these are certain things which are again particular to the service industry. Traditional marketing was developed looking at physical goods. For service marketing, focus is people, process and physical evidence. Customers generally tend to give preference price rather than quality of service. In that circumstance, companies can create differentiation not through price war, but focusing on providing wider range of services. Here under the different characteristics of the service industry, we again emphasize the services cannot be seen. The way we provide the services is very important. What is the environment provided to the customer to give them the service is very important. The customer is in direct touch with the service provider. His behavior is very important. So, one has to take care of all these things like environment, behavior and the way the service is provided and the way the customer requirement is understood by the service provider again is very important. Companies are looking at internet to accomplish this task, but as with products, competition can easily copy and remove differentiation. However, the temporary differentiation will serve the company well. Customer satisfaction is tested every time service is delivered, making it essential to manage service quality. What is the meaning of the quality of service is checked every time we provide the service? Through call centers, we make contact with the customers who are provided with our services. We ask them different questions and their conversation is recorded also. We mention it to customers that this discussion will be recorded and used for quality improvement. And then we tell them to rate the services provided by the organization. Based on this, every time the customer uses the services, he gives us a feedback regarding how the services were provided to him. If he requires any change, if he is not happy, all these things are recorded, and finally changes are made in the operations of providing services to the customers, so that finally the customers are satisfied to the great extent. Quality service management requires a strategic concept to the start with wherein companies need to make customer satisfaction their motto. Top management should show commitment towards this strategic concept and create an atmosphere to facilitate customer satisfaction. Companies need to implement best practices associated customer satisfaction, and companies can introduce technology wherever relevant to reduce human element, for example, kiosks and ATMs. We know that these are not made by human beings, these are automatic in nature. Companies need to develop a system where they can monitor as well as audit customer satisfaction system for its robustness and performance. Companies need to develop a habit in looking into customer grievance and resolve them at the earliest. Employees serve as internal customers, and it is very essential they are satisfied with the company. A satisfied and motivated employee is going to carry that attitude in dealing with customer and in increasing productivity. Here we know that one satisfied customer will bring 10 more customers. So, each and every time we provide service to the customer, his satisfaction level should be checked, and it should be self-generated type. The moment we provide a service to the customer, immediately some telecaller should call him regarding the quality of the service provided to him. We must get a feedback immediately. Any problem seen must be resolved immediately, so that it should not get prolonged and it should not enter into other customers' minds. So, this is the way to run the service industry to get the maximum customer satisfaction. Customer is the king and service is the name of the game. It is essential for companies to incorporate services, purchase or post-purchase as an element of the marketing strategy. Today's customer has more options available and will move on to another company for the sake of better service. It is always there, like products, like manufactured products, customers can switch over to different products. Similarly, the customers can switch over to different service providers based on the satisfaction they get from the services. So, it is very important to be competitor, a good competitor, so that we give the competing satisfaction to the customer. Now, we are going to discuss scanning the market environment. Any activity is to be carried out as far as the marketing function is concerned, it cannot be complete without scanning the environment. Rather, scanning the market environment gets the first priority. Only after scanning the market environment we make our marketing strategy. Fad is short-lived. Mushrooming of opportunity, which is difficult to predict and forecast. We have fashion, we have fad, and we know that fad does not remain forever, but the need of the customer remains. So, we have to finally look into the need and requirement of the customer. Business profit from fad is pure matter of luck and chance. Trend is something which takes time to build up compared to fad and has a predictable future. So, fad, fashion and trend is to be analyzed and seen carefully, as we know that fad is a business of luck. We may be lucky, we may not be lucky. It depends how the fad is seen by the customers. How many customers are affected by fad? Fashion has a different impact and trend has also totally different impact on the minds of the customers. Trend is sometimes correlated with the changes in social culture and economical situation. Mega trend is much slower in development and is associated with political, socio-economical, technology and regulatory changes. Mega trends are estimated to last around half decade or more, but fad does not remain for half a decade. For companies, trend and mega trend are of great importance because they present business opportunities to them. Currently, portable music player and handheld devices are real craze in the market, with consumer willing to pay premium for them. However, the direction in which market is going to develop is only possible by continuous following of market. When we are looking at the products with respect to fad, fashion and trend, we must be more vigilant as far as the market environment is concerned, because they do not follow the normal way the other products follow. We have to see where the customers are moving when fad, fashion and trends are concerned, and if we follow the market closely, we will be able to run our business more effectively and efficiently. This trend spotting activity can be undertaken by company itself or through market research. This activity can also be outsourced to companies which specialize in analyzing current social and economical changes. Fitness and diet are another trend which witness growth across the globe. Now we are talking about fad, fashion, trend, etc. And we have also talked about close vigilance on the market environment. Here we can take help from companies other than our organization. These companies are research companies. They keep on analyzing the market environment. We must get their opinion so that we are always there to get our market share increased. We are always there to satisfy the customer. So, by any means, we must scan the environment and take our activities seriously depending upon the results given by the scanning process. The trends developing in markets are under the influence of a number of factors to which companies, stakeholders or participants. Some of the factors are as follows. Globalization is affecting the way companies are conducting their business. Communication and connectivity are reaching at a new level every day. New economic powers like India, China, Brazil and Russia are exerting their influence. There are certain factors. We have to see them carefully. The way the things are moving, the communication means are improving. Within seconds, the information is spread all over the world. This is a factor we must take into account before deciding our strategy, and this is to be done through the scanning process. There are many other factors beyond the above mentioned which affect business working, making it essential for companies to scan market condition. Factors influencing the market can be categorized under 6 different titles, and these titles are demographic, economic, ecology, technology, regulatory, political and society culture. Now, we will discuss these categorizations. The first factor, demographic factor, and these factors are associated with changing nature and volume of population. It follows how people are conducting themselves in the new world, increasing per capita income, urban migration, ethnically diverse cities and mega cities. These factors, as we know, these are called demographic factors. Demographic factors like how the rural area, rural population is developing, rural population is converted into urban, how education is spreading, how the income is increasing, how customers and the consumers are working to improve their surplus income. So, these demographic factors also are part of the scanning process. These are some demographic factors companies are monitoring. For example, a country like India and China are showing highest concentration of youth population, whereas Japan is showing high number of retired workers. Therefore, demand and consumption of product will also be different. These demographic factors, why are we discussing? Because they have a direct impact on the requirement of certain products. Some products are for youth and some products are for old. If we have more youth available in the country, we will provide them the products which are liked by young people. India is young, average age is hardly 40, 45, but as compared to Japan, where we have more of retired people, in these two countries the requirement of products will be different. So, these demographic factors have direct impact on the demand for the product and services. So, scanning of the marketing environment is a must with respect to demographic factor. Next factor which we are going to discuss is economic factor, and this factor deals with function like purchasing power parity, income level, savings level and interest rates among many other. For example, countries with a high income level are more likely to afford luxury items compared to a low income level country. Savings level and interest rate determine the borrowing power as well as spending power of customer. These are very important economic factors, and these are very interesting also. When we see the surplus income available with the consumer, we can easily say that the consumers will buy luxury products. On the other hand, if the surplus income is negligible, the consumers will try to fulfill their routine requirements. They will not spend money on the costly and expensive products and services. Then we have to see the interest rate also. If the funds are available at a low interest, the consumers will try to borrow the money from the banks and spend it on purchasing the products. So, these are very important factors. Then the recession or growth is there in the environment, that is also very important, and this is part of the economic factor. Ecological factors consist of natural resources composition in a given country. For example, demand for fossil fuel has skyrocketed in recent years, thereby increasing general price level in the market. Companies therefore are looking forward to designing products which are eco-friendly, and their design, that is, they are less fuel dependent and give output less pollution. If you are making a product which is pollution free, which is green in using it, we are not producing lot of pollutants, then everyone will like that product. So that is a factor which is called ecological factor. Then is the technological factors like internet and connectivity are changing the face of business. More and more people are doing business online. Science and medicine are also part of technology. Challenge for the company is to keep up with the innovation and offer products which are not obsolete. Now we have marketing techniques available like internet marketing. Through technology, we must make use of it. So today viewers, we discussed certain things. Initially, we discussed new product development process, new product offerings, service industry, special characteristics and features of the service industry. I hope I was able to make you understand what I wanted to say. Thank you so much.
With this note, thank you, sir. Thank you so very much for giving us a productive session as well as giving your precious time. So, dear friends, we would be meeting again very soon. And if you want to access this lecture once again or number of times you wanted, then very soon we are going to upload this lecture for you on YouTube. So, we would be meeting again. Till then, take care. Goodbye.
Thank you,
sir.